One of the challenges of dealing with kind of a demon possession type of film is helplessness. Helplessness of dealing with the entity or the assaulting party, I guess. Especially being the victim, I guess. You're dealing with those challenges, but especially dealing with now a father-daughter relationship, sorry. A father also has that helplessness of not being able to do anything.
Yeah, well, I think that's something that you learn in the movie through Lin Shaye's character, at least, is the only person that can stop it is you, like nobody else, and you can't even die to get away from it. So really, instead of Quinn being the victim, I think she's the fighter in the movie, and I mean, the whole movie, she's fighting to get this demon unattached from her, which, I mean, is horrifying, as you can see. And it's helpless for the father, obviously, because nothing's visible. He's not experiencing the demon. He doesn't see what's going on. And, like, how can you help? Like, there's nothing you can do, but there's nothing more that he wants to do.
I love this question because it really is what the movie's about. The heart of the movie is this family and what they're already going through, getting over and grieving, you know, the process of grieving the loss of her mother. And this movie, you see these people at their wits' end, really at the end of their rope, helpless, as you say. We honor the other movies, we honor, horror movie conventions, but I love that you really get the heart of the movie, because that's the part that I came in for. I mean, Lee was straight up with me, said, here's your task. You are here to make a family drama. And then let's see what happens when, all hell breaks loose. I mean, and obviously that's the fun part. But we set you up, and the way the script is structured, boy, it stretches out, and that creates so much suspense.
Did either of you have interest in the occult or demonology or ghosts or supernatural elements heading into the film?
Yeah.
Was there anything that you especially in trying to learn about what you would be dealing with, did you kind of do some research and quickly close that book up and say, I don't want to deal with these unknown aspects?
That's something I talked a lot about with Lee, like before I got the part, was my interest in the paranormal. I mean, I've always like had an interest in it. My dad and I grew up in a small town in Florida, which is like very haunted, and they have like ghost tours and like haunted restaurants everywhere.
Is that right?
Yeah, so I've always had like this deep interest in it. Nothing like has ever happened, and I've never wanted to like conjure up a spirit. That sounds terrifying. But like I'm really interested in that, and like psychics and any kind of medium, the paranormal. And like all those cheesy TV shows and stuff. Like I find them so interesting. And I love the first two films. I like would go on a Friday night with my friends to watch them. So that's kind of like my interest in the movie. And it was just an amazing opportunity.
And me, I really loved Ghostbusters.
Oh, going back.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I mean, that kind of answers your question.
I guess.
You know, that was the first time actually, even though obviously it's a wild comedy, that you thought, there are people
with Friendly Ghosts.
That too,
That's a classic.
Yeah.
Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, far less terrifying though.
Far less terrifying than our demon, which I find to be truly terrifying in this story. Some of the other, there's slasher movies, and then there's sort of psychological horror movies. Obviously, the Insidious, the whole group of films here, we really are much more this, mind terror. And love that part of it. So it was cool to be involved with one of these.